Okay, we in here. Oh my goodness, my screen looks funny. Hey, how y'all doing? What's up? So, we in here today. Pardon me, I'm gonna be playing a game as I speak. So, hopefully you guys don't mind. Shouldn't be too hard. Let's see, I got a little issue here with my screen. But yeah, it's been like, what? This is our number 3? This is number 3, I think. This is our third, set it off. Or, I mean, off topics. I'm so used to set it off.
I know, right?
Yeah, this is the third one. This is the third one. So we're gonna just we got like 3 little, little major minor topics or whatever you want to call it. And so I just figured we just go in here. But before we get started, usually we always, with anything dealing with us, we always, talk about what we've been playing or doing and stuff like that. So I'm gonna let Nia go ahead. What you've been playing on, what you've been doing, all that good stuff in the last week or so.
I've basically been living at the school. Like, I literally have not had a life since I started working at the school, to be honest. But in the meantime, the little stuff that I have been playing in the meantime, though, has been Banner Saga. Y'all already know that, because I was playing it the last time we talked when we were doing a Team Red last week. So Banner Saga, pretty much, man. I downloaded the Monster Hunter Generations demo on the Switch today. So I played that for like 5 minutes. What's up, M Prime? How you doing? I recently also purchased Overcooked 2. Me and Coupon just might play that tonight on stream if y'all want to see that, because that will be hilarious.
Trying to play that game as well as talking about topics. I don't know.
No, not when we're talking about topics. We gotta be completely focused.
In that game.
So either Coupon and I are going to be sisters and emerge, and we're just going to be a cohesive team, or Coupon and I are gonna hate each other by the
end of off topic. We ain't doing it never again. I'm turning that light off. That light is too hot.
Overcooked 2 is gonna be the end of our friendship.
I think what we'll do is we'll do the podcast, and we'll probably play maybe 1 or 2 rounds before we close off and see how it goes. But we're definitely from this day on, we'll definitely go ahead and play the full game.
For sure.
So there's that. But for now, I'm just playing some Stardew Valley because it's the easiest game you can play without being too distracted, and I can still do my topics and whatnot. So.
For sure.
Yeah.
You didn't tell us what you've been gaming on.
Oh yeah, let me get onto that. So what have I been gaming on? Well, I still have been playing Stardew Valley. I've been playing this one game, Lenota. Oh my god, girl. You know how I am about rhythm games, right? So I love rhythm games, and Lenota is like one of them. It's a touchscreen game, so I cannot play I can't play it in handheld mode, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I managed to find a sneaky way of being able to stream it. Y'all saw that little low-key ghetto stream that I made of it not too long ago. I did screen it.
You said it's handheld only?
It's handheld only. So what I did is I used my phone to record me playing it, and then I just have my actual screen up.
I've done that before for like 3DS games and stuff.
Hey, you gotta get creative around here. We creative. But I've been playing that kind of religiously because it's really, really fun. It's interesting, and the music is good. Girl, the music's good, so I love it. Awesome. But I also have been playing for the most part these other games. Obviously, I got Overcooked recently, as you can see on screen. Lenota is this one. I just downloaded Hollow Knight. I figured I'd go ahead and support them because I did support them during their Kickstarter. I got the code on. I got my free code for the PC, but I'm gonna go ahead and buy it on Switch anyway because I like this game and I want to be able to play it. There's another game called Iconoclast. I have yet to play it, but I downloaded it and I got to see a little bit of it when I did. I was gonna play it in my stream, my last stream, but I wanted to give it its own kind of its own stream. So I will be streaming this on its own to kind of give it its own glory. And I've been playing Holy Potatoes, a weapon shop. It is so cute. It's called Holy Potatoes, a weapon shop. It's a bunch of little potatoes.
Wow.
It's a bunch of little potato people, and they're it's so funny because they're like parodies of other video game characters. Because they got one called something. It's it's a parody of Trevor on GTA, but they call him something else.
Yeah.
And they got like Final Fantasy characters that are parodies and stuff. And basically, what you're doing is you're a weaponsmith, and you're making weapons for various different, you know, heroes and stuff. And the better your weapons are, the more clout you'll get, and the more money comes in, and all that good stuff. So you're just basically a weaponsmith, but you're like some silly little weaponsmith character. I have one of my weaponsmith. I have like somebody who's in my team, and her name is Laura Craft.
That's funny.
So it's kind of funny how they she just popped up one day and she's like, yeah, her name's Laura Craft. She's gonna be working with you. I'm like, oh really? Okay. So it's a cute little game. I would recommend checking it out. And obviously I've been finishing up on Captain Toad. Been playing a little Paladins, and I got this other game called Midnight Deluxe. Obviously I got Okami HD, but I have yet to play that yet. And I've been playing a little bit more Thumper. So I've been playing quite a few games.
You've been going in, so, golly.
You know, just on and off, doing what I do. You know, I'm a gamer. I play. But I think we could go ahead and jump into our topics. As per usual, before I have to do disclaimers, because I gotta let people know, we talk about all sorts of things, from sensitive topics, social topics, and all that other stuff, to topics that people might not be too keen on. So please don't be too you know,
upset.
weird about it.
don't be so upset about it. These are just topics that we feel like are relevant, because as much as we try to emphasize that we are gamers, we are also people. So we do like to talk about stuff going on in real life, because you know, we people too, man. We gamers, but at the end of the day, we people who have like emotions and thoughts and feelings about certain things, and we definitely try not to shy away from those type of topics on this show. So you know what I'm saying?
Yes. So on my screen that you're about to see is going to be a video of a gentleman, and essentially a black man who suffered a seizure was dragged off of a California train by a heartless white man who didn't want his ride to be delayed. And essentially what's going on is this gentleman down here, he had a seizure, he's seizing up, and they already called the cops, they already called the ambulance to come pick them up. So the train by you know, protocol is meant to stop, and they're not to go anywhere. So they're not going anywhere. It's too late. They're not going anywhere. But this guy, this lovely law-abiding citizen here, decided that he would take it upon himself to drag this man off the train so that people don't have to wait, because he what did he say? He was saying something like along the lines of, oh well, I just moved him off the plane because some people don't want to wait. There are a lot of people on the train. This is what he's saying. Wasn't nobody else tripping? Who had to? Then he says, on having to wait, you gonna drag him off the train, is what the guy is saying. Then he said nobody wants to be involved. So basically the guy says he's saying that people on the train don't want to be involved. They don't want to be involved with this man being having a seizure. People want to get home. They want to get to where they have to go. So we'll just get him off the train, and then, you know, ambulance will be coming to get him. And he's still out there on the just sitting out there chilling, you know, dying. You know, there's no big deal. He's just a guy dying, just some black dude dying on the street. Nothing to worry about. So he has the audacity after the fact, because when they finally realized that the train is not going anywhere, because protocol demands that the train does not move. Once they call the ambulance, the cops, whoever, the train is not allowed to go anywhere until the whole situation has been resolved. So it was already too late. You dragging him off the train was null and void. And then he has the audacity to go outside and pretend like he gives a shit. Oh well, this man needs help. He needs help. Let's get him some help. He'll be all right. And he's trying to check him and pretend like he cares. This is the type of shit that irritates me. And I'm sorry if I cuss. I do. I really am sorry. Then when he dragged him off the train, his pants comes down. He's just being. This is stuff that we go through, y'all. This is what we talk about on a regular basis. Is all I have to say. I mean, you got anything on it? Like, it's just like, I don't understand. I just do not understand.
Well, one thing that I can say about this whole situation is like, you know, like a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's probably just somebody being a jerk, but not necessarily, you know, this having some type of racist implications. But before I go there, let me just say, like, okay, how this is wrong, first of all. Okay, so like I've worked with people with like mental and developmental disabilities, and one of the things that we learned about people who are having a seizure is that when a person is seizing, first of all, there's a particular protocol that you have to do to ensure that that person is safe, because of course when a person is having a seizure, they don't have control over their own bodies, so you have to position them to where that some type of harm isn't being caused to them in the process. For example, like you lay them, you know, on their side so that they don't like choke on like their spit or something like that, you know. So first of all, that's the first messed up thing you did. First of all, you don't have authorization, you're not a doctor or anything like that, trying to remove a person who is having a seizure out of a, you know, a particular type of situation, first of all. Second of all, you know, you're not even doing the right things to ensure that this person is continuing to be safe, because you're being selfish to the point where you feel like your desire or your want to go home is more important than somebody, you know, in the middle of a medical emergency.
Someone's life.
That's a problem.
Right.
But the reason why, you know, we are talking about this particular situation in the context of race is because the person who did that terrible thing to that man on the train has actually made many racist comments and remarks on Facebook. I know Coupon showed me something. What was it about? Like this, he was saying what he would do, what he used to do when he used to work at a restaurant.
That was actually
that was a different person. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, that was a different person who was just basically stating that if black people go to his restaurant, he puts poison in their food.
Yeah, he puts poison in their food. So it's just kind of like this overarching like idea that people still don't really, you know, look at us as human beings. You know, even when somebody's having a medical emergency.
A medical emergency. It's like, I don't know. It's just like a sense of it's like we are not human to a lot of people of that caliber. We're just not human to them. We're just throwaway product. We're useful for as good as we're useful, basically, and then we can be thrown away. And in that situation, this gentleman has a seizure. This other gentleman technically just doesn't want anything to do with it. So he feels that if he drags him off the train, that the train's going to take off and they're going to go, and not realizing, and how do you not know? How do people not know that the protocol for trains, planes, any kind of
they have to stop. They can't.
They have to stop. They are not allowed to keep going. So you dragging him off the train was never going to get you anywhere anyway. You basically, you essentially put that man in even more danger because you're being selfish.
Yeah, like, cause like, what if he got trampled by like people who were passing by or something?
Who were passing by, or what if he just died simply because you moved him?
Yeah,
you know, like something like that. So from what I've heard, the gentleman is okay. He was stabilized. He was better, and they're doing a full investigation using the video that was shown to find out what happened, and hopefully they give this man the book, because I'm sorry. And I hate to put it like this, but until white people of this caliber, not all, but the people who just feel like the law doesn't apply to them, until they are slapped in the face with the full extent of the law on the same level as a black man or a black woman, they will never understand. They will constantly waste time calling cops on black folks for no freaking reason. They will constantly drag us off of trains, planes, automobiles, wherever the hell else, just because they feel like their time is more important than someone's life. Yeah. They're gonna keep doing this stuff until there is real justice, until there's real consequences for their action. Yeah. Monetary consequences, time spent in jail, hell, life sentences. I don't know, whatever you feel like you need to do, until there is real repercussions for a white man acting like a dick, essentially is what it is, you being a dick and racist and whatnot. These people don't feel like anything they feel untouchable. That's why they do what they do. They feel untouchable. That's why they call cops on us. That's why they do these. They know that they're untouchable to an extent, and they know that they're not going to really get slapped with, you know, as protocols that we would normally get slapped with. If it was reversed, let's just put it in that sense.
So let me throw this out here, because I want to get the full information. So the person who did this on the train was a businessman, right?
Just some regular Joe Schmo, I guess. A business dude, something like that. Yeah.
Now, let me ask, because I feel like sometimes as black people, we do get a little bit defensive.
We do.
Are we sure that what he did was because of racist implications? Or are we just making that assumption based on just how we...
That is a good question.
Because sometimes things happen to us, and our first go-to is like, oh,
but
maybe they're treating me differently because I'm black. But maybe this person's just a dick.
Question.
Yeah.
Okay, but let me ask you this question. If a man is on a train, plane, wherever the heck you are, any public transportation he's seizing, regardless of the race, ethnicity, anything, are you going to drag that man off the train? Period.
No, well, because I'm not a terrible person.
That's what I'm asking. So, irregardless of the man's race, he was still in the wrong.
That's what I'm saying. Now, don't get me wrong. What he did is terrible, but I don't want to automatically just say it was racist. But there are certain things that do happen, you know, because of race. But I don't know if this is one of those situations because I don't have the full details. I don't have the full.
And when there is no full details, so we can only go off of what we see, and what we see, sorry to say, is a white man who felt his time was more important than a black man's life, or, you know, essentially is what it is, because we don't know what he was seizing from. If he was seizing from an overdose, we don't know. He could have been on drugs, that's a possibility. But even so, hey, look at there, greatness awaits has just subscribed. Thank you, man.
Shout out to all of the people coming through though. I got LG in the building. I got M Prime.
Oh
my God, Brittany Tanisha's in the building. What's up, girl? Digital Man in the building. Yeah, I feel like this is more of a morality issue.
It's a morality issue more than it is race.
But
when you see it in this context, it really makes it hard for you to. It just makes it sad to see. It's sad to see, period, in the first place. Like, why are you doing this to any person?
It's very inhumane what he did.
It's inhumane to begin with. So you an asshole for being inhumane. And then at the same time, it's like, in a time where, you know, people are, in a time where we have racial issues anyway.
Yeah.
Do we really need this type of stuff too?
I feel where you're coming from. It's hard
not
to
look
at it this way because we do still undergo these issues, and then in light of this recent presidency, people are doing the most and going over and beyond because they feel like now they have an outlet.
They're empowered. They feel empowered.
But I personally, and I'm not saying that you're wrong for feeling this way. You're very much within your right to feel how you feel. But I'm hesitant on whether or not I want to say that this is a racial issue. I think it's more so a morality issue. This man who just doesn't value human life.
Viewpoint, and with your viewpoint, I can sit back and be like, you know what, you're probably right. It could possibly be anything, because like I said, the gentleman could have been overdosing on something, and that's why he was seizing.
I mean, but if he didn't, but even if that's the case, that's not right. Yeah,
I know it's still not right. Even so, if that's the case, it's not right. But like, nobody's innocent in this. But at the same time, you shouldn't be acting like an asshole in general.
I definitely think somebody.
But I understand where you're coming from.
No, I definitely think somebody's innocent in this. The man who's having
the man who was seizing was innocent
because you can't control your body when you're having a seizure.
Right. When you're
regardless if you just have medical issues or something,
taking a drug or something, like you shouldn't.
But regardless,
people shouldn't be as heartless as they are and just drag some dude off the train. So.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, where I stand, I can see what Nia's saying, where it could possibly be anything but that. Me personally, it's just me. I really feel like it's just jackass dragging some dude off the train. Like, why would you do that?
I feel like as black people, we have like this collective defensiveness that we're always afraid that people are treating us certain ways because of who we are, because we're so accustomed to getting that
being
from
treated
people.
That way. Yeah,
you know what I mean. So like that's why I'm saying I don't feel like you're wrong for feeling how you feel. I just don't get that vibe from the story, but I get it. But I get it. I understand where you're coming from.
Like, and that's the thing. We both understand each other's side. Like, I understand why you feel it might not be that way, and you understand why I feel like it might be. Right. But at the same time, we both agree he's an asshole.
We both agree that he's an asshole and he shouldn't have done what he did.
He shouldn't have done that, period. So bottom line, he's an asshole.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah, the gentleman, from the information that I got, he is okay. They got him to the hospital and everything. They're still doing an investigation. I don't have any more information other than that.
Right.
Irregardless of race or not, the dude was an asshole. He shouldn't have never did that. Period. End of discussion. But if you have any more that you would like to say on that, by all means, let me know. And if you guys have any questions, I mean, do you have like a lot of people in your chat? Like, I mean, we can answer questions as we go.
Chat. I got about 10 people watching right now. So
all right. So I think like for now,
comments and questions, you guys.
Yeah, we can answer them as we go.
Yeah.
But soon we're gonna be trying to get everybody to join our Discord, our off-topic Discord, so you can ask questions there because it just makes it a whole lot neater and easier to read questions. But for now, we can go ahead and let you guys just kind of ask questions. So if you see anything in your chat that's interesting, you want to kind of answer a question to, by all means, let me know, and I'll do the same. But even at the end of the day, Wolf Claw is like white supremacy is real, and it is. It's a thing. It's a real thing,
and that's why a lot of us get mad defensive when stuff like this happens. Because it's like,
that's why we gotta try and take ourselves out of our feelings for just long enough to really look at the situation for what it is. Is it just some dude being an asshole to another guy, and it just happened to be that he was white and the other dude was black?
Yeah.
Sometimes those situations do happen, and it's sad that they do happen, and it's sad that we have to feel on guard all the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, that's what I don't like, is the fact that we always feel like we have to be on guard, because we never know when it is truly those types of situations, or if it's just somebody just being an asshole in general, just don't like people. When you run into someone who just don't like people, you're just like, okay, well, whatever. But when you run into a genuine, racist or whatever, then that's when things really escalate, and you really don't want to be in those situations.
Oh, here's a very interesting comment from M Prime, who always on point. He says, Black people's PTSD to racial issues can be a problem sometimes. Sometimes we can't differentiate when racial and non-racial issues happen. Gotta treat things on a case-by-case basis. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I feel that.
And I've been trying to work on that. Like,
I've been working on that too, man.
I've been working on that, because I notice a lot with myself that sometimes when it's a situation like this,
I get straight up like, was he white? Was he black? Like, what happened? Like, I automatically get that.
That's the funny thing. Haven't you noticed that when there's a certain crime that happens and you hear it on the news, you can kind of automatically assume what the race of the person who did the crime is based on the crime. And that's kind of sad that we can pick up on that, but at the same time, it's kind of convenient.
Or sometimes, like, if something crazy happens, and we just like, oh Lord, please don't be black.
Please don't let that, like, don't be black, because that's all we need. And that's sad, and that's another sad thing about being black. Bro. One black person does something, and it's indicative to the whole race. Like, dude, I am not like that. Just because this dude want to run out on the streets, like school shootings is a tragedy, but can you imagine if that was done predominantly by black people?
Oh, that would have been nipped in the bud a long time ago.
Oh, they wouldn't be having these arguments about, oh, should we have guns or not, or whatever and stuff. Like it's a non-issue, but because it's a bunch of white folks and white children or whatever who have mental issues or whatever, they try to. They're more lenient. They're trying to slap a hand. It's like, oh, well, he has a mental issue problem, and like, well, if you've gotten phone calls from multiple people over the course of like months about half of these shooters, and you do nothing until they kill people. Hello?
That's wild, man. We got a lot of issues to uncover, but we gotta move on.
But it is what it is. So
on this topic too long. But
that's it is what it is. So it could be any kind of a situation. We're not gonna just end it with just racism. It's big. I'm gonna end it with it's an asshole being an asshole.
An asshole being an asshole.
Being an asshole. So our next topic deals with the good old IGN.
Oh God.
And the IGN pulls ex-editors' posts after dozens more plagiarism accusations surfaced. So what's this gentleman's name? Philip Mewson. Yeah, so Philip Mewson, as we all know, he just recently got fired from IGN because of plagiarizing issues dealing with another gentleman, YouTuber's, stuff. So he basically, word for word, to an extent, with wordplay, he used wordplay to try to pass off his Dead Cells, review as his own, and another gentleman on YouTube was concerned about this and actually brought it to the public's attention by making a video, side-by-side comparison of the video. And essentially, it was word for word. He just had a few he just had a few little lines here and there, a few little words moved around here and there. But for the most part, it's just basically one-to-one, word for word.
That's crazy.
And, so he got fired. IGN handled it very swiftly. They took down the review. They handled it so well.
Like they handled it very well.
They took it down, took down the review. They looked into it, found out what happened, fired him, moved on with their lives, and now they have a new review up. I do believe they just posted a new review for Dead Cells by somebody else. Yeah. And the Philip Mewson decided he would go to his his channel and make an apology video. Air quotes, by the way.
I wish I had a chance to see it, but it was already done.
I had a chance to check it out, but the problem with that is that he took the video down, and he's been kind of hitting everybody who who took the video and used it as a means to critique him. Yeah. He's been going around kind of flagging their channels and whatnot. So there's really I don't really have any information on the video itself, but he essentially kind of, I guess you could say, in the video he said a few things. So what is this? It says videos, copies, okay, we've seen enough now, both from, okay, blah blah blah, IGN reviews. Okay, so IGN had a few things to say about what was going on as far as finding out more plagiarizing things. So they said, we've seen enough now, both from the thread and our own searches, that we're taking down pretty much everything he did. Yeah, so they're just essentially gonna take it all down. This article, and on mostly everything that he's done, it says at the bottom, it says this article has been removed due to concerns over similarities to work by other authors. The author of this article is now no longer employed by IGN. So if you go to IGN and you see this up there, it was because Philip Mewson, basically, he was the one that made this stuff. And in his apology video, he essentially made a non-apology, and he kind of went after Kotaku. Jason Schreier, the guy who's making this this very article I'm reading.
He can't get mad because home caught him on his stuff, bro.
Let me finish. So in the video, he fake apologizes. He apologizes to everybody, to IG and all this stuff. He doesn't even apologize to what was it, Boomstick Gaming was the name of them? Was that them?
I don't know. I think your mic is kind of like, I don't know if it's my end or your end, but my OBS doesn't look like it's having issues. I don't know what's going on with your mic.
I don't know, because I don't hear it. Is anything going on with my mic? Let me know. Because I don't have any problems on my end. It's playing fine.
See, ask your people on your end if you're
I did
something weird.
Jalapeno, I know you in there. Let me know if something's up.
And I'm gonna try. I don't have no video or nothing going on in the background, so.
Oh, I know, right?
I made sure everything was off. Cause I didn't want no more problems.
I know, right? The only thing I got on is just us talking and just this, and then I'm playing my video game, but that don't do nothing. Nobody's saying nothing, so I'm just gonna keep talking for the most part. But in that video, you can still hear me, right?
It's very distorted.
It's just straight over here. Okay, so apparently it says you sound okay to me. They say everything sounds good over here.
So let me exit Discord and come right back.
Okay, so we'll do that real quick. We always have a technical difficulties.
I know, right? All right.
Hello.
I have returned.
I am still here. I'm still distorted.
Still distorted? Let me see. It might also be my earbuds. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Always something.
I know,
and,
right?
And we made sure before we went live that you didn't have nothing strenuous on.
I know. It could be my earbuds because once they start running out of juice, then
they act funny.
The audio distorts, so it's probably my earbuds or something.
Oh, okay. Does everybody on your...
I'm gonna have to restart it. Free. miss my old mic, because my old mic didn't have this problem. Like with my old mic, I could just put my earbuds inside the mic, so I would always have audio no matter where I was. But like with the snowball mic, like there's no headphone jack in the mic, so I have to do workarounds just to get my audio working on any input I'm on. Okay. I don't think it has, I don't know if it has anything to do with that. I think it's just the input. Like I don't have that input anymore because of my mic doesn't have that extra feature like that. I didn't realize how much I like that feature until I stopped using that mic. Alright, so coupons should be heard fine now. No? Wait a minute, hold on, they can't hear you. Hold up. It's because I have to switch my audio back in OBS. Hold on.
Give us one more minute, y'all.
Alright, there you go. Coupons should be audible now.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Sorry about that, y'all, man. I be thinking about going back to my old mic sometimes.
You might as, I mean, if it's comfortable for you.
Like
just to kind of catch up on what we were doing. So essentially, he made his non-apology video. He apologized to IGN for all his the troubles he caused. He basically was talking about, you know, he talked to the Boomstick Gaming guy. He didn't apologize once to him, but he just said, you know, you're gonna make it big because of this. This will get you ahead, and blah. Basically, essentially being condescending and saying that because you outed me, now you should get a lot of views and stuff. And it's like, dude, you decided to make the decision to take his stuff. Don't get mad at him for just pointing it out.
Exactly.
And so he continues on, and then he decides to kind of like target Kotaku and target Jason Schreier and say, man, if you can find any more dirt on me, that's fine. Do what you can. Please let me know if there's more dirt out there on me and stuff like that.
And they definitely did it.
And Jason Schreier said, challenge accepted. And essentially, he's been getting nothing but inbox calls, mails, and all sorts of stuff about all the different peoples that he's been plagiarizing. And apparently he's been doing it for years.
You know what's
years. Funny? He even faked his own resume.
You know what's funny? Like I originally thought that this whole plagiarizing thing was messed up. I was like, yo, man.
A single incident.
Yeah, I thought it was a single incident. Like, man, the workload got to him, so he messed up. He made a mistake, and I wasn't, you know, caping for him, anything like that. But
but you know, sometimes you get stressed.
Yeah, sometimes you get stressed out. You could have asked for help. You know what I'm saying? But like this stuff goes deep. Like he basically
goes so deep.
He lied about like his entire career. Like, how do you come back from that? You will never come back from this. Like, you will never work in games journalism ever again.
So Musin obviously hasn't responded to any of the requests for the interviews and all that stuff, and IGN basically had this statement say, and they say they are deeply disappointed and upset that it's looking more and more likely that we unwittingly hosted work that was directly lifted from, or at best heavily derived from, others. I assure you we are taking very active steps to remove it all and make it right. I feel betrayed. Tonight, IGN took down more content over concerns some of the work by Philip may have been copied. After 18 years at IGN as a reviewer, a producer is despicable. Authors and supporters affected. I'm sorry. Nobody at IGN stands for this. This is a personal statement of my own. So yeah, they're livid over there at IGN, as they should be. Yeah. And they essentially just went through and took everything down. Everything. That's all his
crazy
stuff. Whatever his legacy was, it ain't no more. His legacy is just, he is a plagiarizer, and he will never be picked up again. Nah. As far as I'm concerned, like nobody's gonna pick him up again. He has destroyed his career by doing it.
Yeah, that's crazy, dog. Like, what the freak, man? Like, you just wrecked your whole career. Did you get to the Brian Altano said, or man?
Yeah, I'm about to read that right now. So we have Brian Altano, and I'm just gonna read his little tweet just to give you a context. And then we're going to read what he says. So, some thoughts about recent events at IGN involving a former staffer who was fired for plagiarism. Also, sorry I cursed. So he just want to give you guys some heads up. So here's what he had to say. Hey, I haven't spoken much about the recent situation at IGN, where an editor was fired for plagiarizing other people's works from around the video game industry. Today, it really started weighing on me more than usual, so here's what I have to say. For the record, most video game websites don't really have practices in place to stop plagiarism before hiring people who love to write and talk about video games from their own personal perspective, is the whole fucking point. Millions of people consume IGN's content every month, and many of them would kill to get paid to talk about video games for a living. Yeah. It's not like in high school where you have 3 days to write about a book you have no interest in and you half-ass some book reports so you can pass and get on with your life. It's a video game. We hire you because you say you love them and you love to talk about them, because why wouldn't you? That's why you applied to begin with. In games journalism, you get hired because you fucking love video games and can speak on them from your own perspective. I've been at IGN for 9 years, and the idea of somebody faking that but still wanting to work there is completely foreign to me. When I found out about this, where am I at?
Naively.
Okay, when I found out about this, I naively thought this was an isolated situation where a person was drowning in deadlines and self-doubt about their own abilities. And made a huge isolated mistake in appropriating somebody else's work, not justifying that, of course. As it turns out, it's been one incident in a string of possibly dozens. It's unheard of in a field full of passionate enthusiasts. The last week has completely screwed me up on a personal and professional level. It sucks. We let down our audience, ourselves, and most importantly, everyone that had their work taken from them. I'm genuinely saddened by the whole situation. I feel completely betrayed by somebody I thought was a colleague, co-host, and friend. I know many of you do too. Thank you for sticking with us through this. Love, Brian. So yeah, they're just like dumbfounded. People are dumbfounded. They're like, how did we not know? How do we not know this? And my thing is, what he said in his initially said, he was like, there's no protocols put into place to combat this. And my thing is, I thought you guys did. Yeah, I thought these guys did thorough background checks on people when they turn in their resume. You're supposed to do a background check. You're supposed to get information on them. Shouldn't that have been able to?
But at the same time, though, there's no. But at the same time, though, there's not really much that. Yeah, like that's what I was gonna say. Like, there's not some magical like document that tells somebody that, oh, somebody's gonna be a plagiarizer, because if he's never worked in games journalism before, I mean, of course that's something that could be tracked if you just like, you know, search somebody's like what do you call it, like their references and stuff like that. But there's not like any documentation that will just say, oh yeah, this person's a plagiarizer, just like you would if you wanted to find out if somebody was a felon or something like that, you know.
He's a felon, how you know?
But
I just know.
But like, if this is the first time that he's ever worked in games journalism, you know, I could understand how they would be blindsided by it, because there is no official documentation that would give you that information. But hopefully, since this has come about, they realize that they really need to start putting things in place to ensure that people who come on in the future, even their current employees, are maintaining their code of ethics in relation to, you know, the type of content that they put out there. So it's kind of messed up that this kind of had to be like a kind of sort of a rude awakening for them to kind of start thinking about stuff like that.
I guess it's better they learn about that now.
But one thing,
I don't know. I'd hate to think what would happen if they had found out about this like way later down the road.
Exactly. At least they found out early enough, because he wasn't even there for a year, so it's not like. And then the way that they handled it very professionally. They handled it very swiftly. So they did all of the right things in order to, you know, give him consequence for what he did. But there's really no real way to find out if somebody is gonna be that type of a person. So, you know. Like, how do you know that somebody's gonna be a blatant and chronic plagiarizer? Like, you don't know.
Right? You just don't know that. So it sucks that it had to happen, but you know, I mean, he made the decision himself. Nobody forced him. Yeah. And so them's the breaks. And
all the breaks.
Hopefully he'll learn from this. I don't know. future, but
Swift justice.
Swift justice. But it is what it is. So
yeah.
A lesson for everyone to have to learn. So don't plagiarize. Simple as that.
Be a copycat.
Don't do it. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next topic. And Bethesda is throwing down the hammer. They're throwing the gauntlet down. They don't means no. Stop touching me there, all that good stuff. So Bethesda takes hard line on crossplay with its Elder Scrolls card game. And so Bethesda VP of marketing said over the weekend that the developer intends for the Elder Scrolls Legends Bethesda's card game to be fully crossplay, with progress carrying over no matter what system people play it on when it eventually releases on console. While not mentioning Sony specifically, the message feels aimed at increasing pressure on the only major video game platform to currently not support crossplay. The Elder Scrolls Legends is a strategy card game that encompasses both single player and multiplayer. Pete Hines tells Game Informer. It is both cross-platform play and cross-platform progression. He went on to elaborate that these features were the company's intention, but stopped just short of saying Bethesda would refuse to port the card game to a system that didn't play with others like PS4.
Yeah.
So this is what he had to say. It is our intention in order for the game to come out. It has to be those things on any system. We cannot have a game that works one way across everywhere else except for one of these things. The way the game works right now on Apple, Google, Steam, and Bethesda.net, it doesn't matter where you buy your stuff. If you play it on another platform, that stuff is there. It doesn't matter what platform you play on, you play against everyone else who is playing at that moment. There's no, oh, it's easier to control or it has better frame rate on this system. It's a strategy card game. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So essentially, they're just basically letting people know that
they're putting their foot down.
We're putting our foot down. And while we all know this game ain't that big of thing that could really push, the envelope a little, it's nice to see somebody is taking a stand. And I think it just takes one person, one publisher to just be like, no, you cross-play, cross-progression, end of discussion.
Yeah.
And I think with Bethesda opening the door and making that a conversation point, we'll see more developers maybe possibly step up and join them and be like, we have a game that requires cross-progression, cross-play, and it must be that way across all platforms, or we can't put it on that platform.
Yeah.
And I just think in the future of gaming is cross-play, because if we're going the way of, these live services, people are not going to want to double dip on all these different platforms, especially if the entry fee is going to still be at $60 for some of these games. You're not going to want to pay $60 across all different platforms, and then you have to restart your game over and progression over.
Yeah. Not to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
But not even just the fact that people don't want to double dip anymore, but regardless of whether people want to accept it or not, games are going towards, and I hate to say this, so guys, buckle down, because I'm gonna say it, okay?
Buckle down.
But regardless of what gamers want, games are going the way of games as a service, whether that be streaming or making it accessible across platforms, or having in some way some type of digital component, some type of online component. So whether you guys want it to happen or not, it's happening, okay? Like, we're already in the beginning stages of games becoming digital. And I believe that, just like Coupon said, crossplay is gonna be a bigger deal because of that fact. Okay, so we have a company like Bethesda, who obviously they make a lot of single player games, but that could change. But they are starting to finally delve into online. They're making Fallout 76. They've got Elder Scrolls Legends, and they have the very popular Elder Scrolls Online. So they're starting to understand this model a little bit more. They're delving to it a little bit more, and they're starting to realize, just like a lot of other companies are starting to realize, that their bottom line at the end of the day is going to become keeping their own infrastructures alive. And that means that games are going to start becoming a service. Everybody's going to have their variation of Origin or Uplay or Epic, and whether we want it to happen or not, it's happening. These right developers now are making money developing their own ecosystems. And crossplay and cross progression is a big part of that transition, okay? So Bethesda is becoming more vocal about their desire for crossplay. They mentioned it like in the aforementioned article that Coupon just referenced about Elder Scrolls Legends. They also mentioned it when they discussed Fallout 76 around E3 time. So Bethesda's they're really putting their foot down because they know the direction that they want to go with this. And here's what I want to say about this too, because there's a lot of gamers out there who feel like this whole crossplay conversation is just a ploy to make Sony and PlayStation look bad, and it's like, it's not even that. This is a real thing that people want, whether you want it or not. This is a real thing that people want, and developers are starting to pick up on it, and now they want it too. So what that mean? Your precious Sony is gonna have to play ball at some point.
They have to play ball.
If more and more, exactly, if more and more developers start having their own ecosystems, like I'll make like a really big example right now. Epic Games is like a wildly successful example, so I'm not gonna go there because that's an easy one. Like Fortnite is making them so much money, they have their own ecosystem. But even somebody like Ubisoft, who has been notorious for not really having gameplay centered around multiplayer games, they're getting into that a lot more with Uplay. Uplay is becoming a lot more better. It's becoming a lot more accessible. And then with the popularity of Rainbow Six Siege, which is increasing in popularity, a lot of people probably don't even realize that it wasn't really popping at first, but now it's popping. And they're going in the same direction. So like you're gonna see more developers going the route of Bethesda and really putting their foot down about crossplay, cross progression, because right now third-party developers are the dominant part of gaming. Like Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, they have their own first-party games, and you know, we love them, they're beloved, but third-party runs the market. And what third-party says, y'all gotta do. That's just what it is.
If you don't have that game that people want on your
like, I mean, I don't think that anybody would be cocky enough to say that they're not gonna put their game on PlayStation, because at the end of the day, PlayStation is still market leader. But they gonna start putting that pressure on Sony, and Sony's gonna have to play ball because that pressure is gonna be put on their neck.
By next generation, they gonna have to play ball, because that's just gonna be the norm.
Yeah.
And if you trying to sell your I mean, it's just think of it like this. Right now, Sony doesn't really make them play ball right now, for the most part.
Yeah.
Epic Games could have forced their hand. They really could have.
They could have.
They could still do it now if
they could.
Wouldn't, but it would piss off the people who are playing on the PlayStation, because what they would have to do is literally take it off of the system and be like, until you play ball, your people can't play it on this system.
Exactly.
And the people who are playing on that system will get mad at Epic, not at Sony.
Yeah.
But I mean, so, and the fact that, and let's not get it twisted, Epic Games allowed Sony to be able to do what they're doing, because first and foremost,
they're not gonna miss out on their money.
Yeah, they allowed that to happen. So for us to just be ragging on Sony alone, it should be putting pressure on Epic Games too, and letting them know, hey, why did you allow that? Because this is your third-party platform installer or whatever, and these are the people playing on your third-party platform on a system that you allowed, you allowed Sony to block us from cross progression stuff, because it's on their servers. So it's not Sony.
They probably didn't even think about it. They
didn't think about
with their pants down. So they were like, dang, now how we gotta work around this? Like, how we gonna do this?
Like, the only thing they were thinking about was, well, Sony doesn't want to do play. We want to get that money because Sony has the biggest market share, so we'll just go ahead and lock people out of there. But what y'all don't understand is They can do it. They can fix it tomorrow. All they have to do is flip a fucking switch. They already did it. They already have cross progression, cross play for Sony and Xbox. They did it before.
Yeah, but
Remember
the thing
that
is,
article?
if they do it, then they could get sued by Sony.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The problem.
They can do. So the thing is, it can be done. It's just Sony being stubborn. But why are we ignoring the fact that Epic Games needs to have some pressure put on them too? I know their hands are tied because they could get sued, sure, and they don't want that. And plus, they're making money either way, so it doesn't really bother them, and it doesn't really affect them because they're still making money in that ecosystem, and they're making money in the other ecosystems and whatnot.
I think they got caught. Go ahead.
No, finish.
I was gonna say, I think they got caught with their pants down. I think they underestimated the amount of people. Well, I think a lot of people do this in general, not even just companies.
Yeah.
People underestimate how much crossover there is between PlayStation and Nintendo. Because, like, when people were playing Fortnite on the PS4, nobody was really checking for Fortnite on the Xbox because Xbox, for one, their market doesn't really gravitate to games like Fortnite that are cartoony and arcadey and stuff like that. And then they also already had PUBG, which is a game in the same genre, so they already had that to fall back on, so they weren't really worried about Fortnite. Whereas on the Nintendo side of things, it became a big deal when Fortnite came to the Switch because, again, there's a lot of crossover between PlayStation players and Nintendo players. Nintendo players and PlayStation players like a lot of the same games. We all like color, we like cartoony, we don't mind arcadey stuff and stuff like that. So when it came over to the Switch, I don't think Epic Games was really considered how many PlayStation people would want to double dip on the Switch and how many Switch people would want to use their PlayStation account on their Nintendo Switch. You know what I'm saying? So
and people were waiting for the play on the go for Fortnite with the Switch for the most part. Some people didn't want to do the mobile version of it. They were like, nah, mobile is not for me. So they were waiting for Switch. Here comes Switch. Most of them were on PlayStation anyway, and then they try to switch over and they're like, whoa, I can't bring my stuff with me.
Yeah.
You know, and of course you got your diehard fans who aren't gonna switch anywhere. They were like, well, that's whatever, I'm gonna stay in this ecosystem and ain't that serious. I don't want this. But you can't be a selfish gamer and say that you don't want it and so no one else should get it. It's called options for a reason. It isn't going to affect the fact that you can still play within your ecosystem, because if they open it up to everyone, what people understand about cross progression and crossplay is once we get on the level of everybody of opening the ecosystem across all platforms, you have the option of turning on what other platforms you want to play with. Did you not know this?
Yeah. And you know what? Even just not even looking at it from a gamer side of things, the reason why a lot of these third-party companies are going in the direction of creating their own ecosystems is because it keeps the games and it keeps the community alive longer. Yeah. Because when you're allowing people from whether they're mobile, they're console, they're PC, when you're allowing everybody to play on the same servers through the same platform, it keeps your game alive, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's the reason why as games, especially console games, are moving more towards games as a service, these companies understand this. When games are becoming games as a service, the way that they could stretch that dollar is allowing more people to play together in the same space. And what better way to do that than allowing other people to play with people on different platforms? Like that, like, because like
they're not. Oh, I'm sorry. Because like the publishers are not working selling a platform. They just need to work on that platform. Right. So it doesn't matter what platform you go to. As long as you're still spending money on any of those platforms, they get a cut. Right. Period. So they don't care about what platform you're on. If you're a hardcore Sony or a hardcore Nintendo. Exactly. Hardcore
they care about their bottom line.
They just want to, their bottom line is making sure you stay on that game and in that ecosystem. And if that ecosystem, let's say just any platform, suddenly tapers off and people are kind of bored with playing on there, then, or whatever, and you don't have anyone else to play with,
then that game is dead.
Then the game dies. But if it's a whole ecosystem across all the board, maybe some people have dropped off on this ecosystem, but you can still play with everybody else on the other side on this other side of the farm. So,
and that's the reason why on the PC,
and that's what they're saying.
Exactly, and that's the reason why on the PC side of things, when you have a lot of multiplayer games, especially a lot of these MMOs I like to play, a lot of these MMOs are only on the PC, and these communities drop off fast because you're limited to one community.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I get it. And I support it. I think it's a good idea. I don't have any qualms at all against crossplay and cross progression. So I feel like it's better for me because I don't have to buy more than one version.
Like, I'm cool with more options. So you know, I ain't gonna be mad about more options, definitely. But I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense as far as their bottom line is concerned. You know, to have these ecosystems open to all platforms, instead of just like, you know, keeping it, you know, blocked off from one to the other. So,
and I see a comment right here from
go ahead.
Sorry, I got a comment here from EJ Johnson. He says games as a service becoming a standard, aka being the start of the end and death of the games industry. I don't agree with that because it's already happening on the PC.
It's already been happening,
and it's already been happening. Like, it's happening slower on consoles, but like, there's already successful models of this.
We thought online gaming was going to be, you know, console gaming, and look where we are now. Let's not jump on the hyperbole train. Let's wait it out. But see, us as the consumers, we do have a say in them.
We definitely do.
We need to start making that statement with our wallets, letting them know what can be done as far as live services. Are you guys going to make these live services the end all be all? Are we going to be seeing what we're seeing with Grand Theft Auto? They make a game for 15 fucking years and you don't see it else.
And then
like, that's
a problem.
That is my issue. You don't sit up here and make GTA 5 and then forget what the fuck you came from, and now we're just now getting Red Dead Redemption. Woo, I'm supposed to be excited. You are a game, you are a publisher, you are a developer. You make games. Where are your freaking games? I haven't seen them published yet. I haven't seen one made yet. Where are they?
Now that is a downside to games as a service.
That's the downside to
people
live
getting
services.
lazy and just banking off of one game. But I guess I could kind of forgive it if they keep the content coming.
And like, this is my other thing I'm gonna have too. Yeah, if they have consistent content. But this is another thing that I'm not. EA looks like the type that's gonna do this.
Oh yeah.
You have a live service. It's good for a year. Then you have another freaking game come out next year. That's the same game. It's just a sequel with a live service, and it's doing good. And like, actually, Activision's doing that with Call of Duty. And I don't like that. You're going to make a yearly live service game. So what you are saying is, I can play this game for a year, and everything I've spent on this game is irrelevant the next time this next game come out because you're not going to put that on. No, that's not.
I feel like there are some games that should have one copy that they just update every year, like sports.
Yeah, if you're doing live service, that should be your game that you're updating on a regular basis. Maybe after a 5-year span, you could add an expansion, or you could do a sequel.
You could do a sequel, yeah.
And you should allow us to maybe use the stuff that we had from the previous live server, bring it over, because guess what? What you could do is recycle those servers for the new game.
Because I mean,
but they're not going to do that.
I'm not going to say that games as a service means that people are lazy. I mean, sometimes it does happen.
Sometimes it does. It's an avenue for it, and that's why we got to stay on there.
That's why we got to stay on the butts as consumer. That's our part that we play in this. But games as a service is not inherently evil, and the reason why I say that is because I've been playing on PC for some years now, and like a lot of the games I play are technically games as a service. These MMOs I be playing, these MOBAs I be playing, those are games as a service games, but they always pump out the content. They're constantly getting expansions. They're constantly getting new characters and stuff like that.
If they're constantly adding to that game and giving us more content and stuff, then I can get on board with that. And then as long as I'm having fun, and as long as you're not dicking me around, and you're not trying to, you know, extract more money than is humanly possible that I can give to you, like, you know, like I said, like with what Activision is doing with Call of Duty right now, you got this, you got to pay for this, what is it, the season pass?
Yeah.
You have to pay, you have to go all in or nothing. So when you pay for the season pass, it gives you everything. You can't just get bits and pieces of what you want.
What they doing with Call of Duty is crazy.
And then they got in game you different in-game currencies, and then they got loot boxes as well. It's like
what they doing is crazy, dog. Like,
and it's
crazy.
It's another thing they need to do with these live services on console. I need free-to-play live services. I'm sorry, you need to give me a means to go in your game, play at the basic level to see if it's something I want to invest in, and then I can pay, and then I'll pay
if I want to
get
spend
more
my money. Yeah.
Because you can't be telling me to pay $60 and then I go into this game and it's trash. Your online service sucks. You're telling me I gotta pay for some freaking loot boxes and some other microtransactions, and you ain't even got nothing worth my time. No. I'm sorry if I'm passionate.
No.
That's not money.
Facts, bro.
That's money coming out of our pockets. And if we feel like the game is worth our time and worth the effort, I think we should be allowed to spend money in the game to support that.
Like,
but don't tell me to give you an entry,
or it should be free, because from that point, like, you're getting more money out of us. Like when let me see, when I bought, let me think of some free-to-play games that I actually spent money in. Paladins, that's a good one. Paladins came out, it launched free-to-play. It's still free-to-play. And I felt like, dang, I like this so much, I'm gonna go ahead and buy the Founders Pack so I can get all the characters and get some extra costumes and bells and whistles and stuff like that. And I feel like that's how, like, if you're gonna do games as a service, your buy-in either has to be cheap or free, because we gotta determine if we like it or not, and what we want as consumers ultimately is gonna guarantee the longevity of this game. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that would be a good way for it to be more of a, I guess, kind of like a pseudo checks and balances system to games as a service, because I think that's the thing that a lot of gamers are really concerned about, is whether or not people are going to abuse it, like EA, or like this stuff Activision is doing with Call of Duty, which is crazy.
We're always wary about Activision and EA and the guys that are really making bank off of these live service games, such as with like GTA, and you got Overwatch with Activision Blizzard, and like, you got to think about it. They're making they're making like billions of dollars, bank, y'all, millions and billions of dollars. Like, they're doing M's and B's, and we as gamers, technically speaking, not saying everybody is, but we usually are broke.
And we
usually don't
success.
have that money, and we determine their success. So, and they're banking off of whales. Like, the live service mantra that they're doing right now is not meant for the general public. It's meant for those whales, dolphins, the guys who will spend, buku bucks and constantly fund their lackluster efforts. And I'm not about that lackluster life. Now, if you're gonna do a live service like with Warframe, like how Epic Games is handling theirs, not bad. It's free to play. They got a little pass that you pay for, and you go and you grind and get your stuff. Cool.
I even like the way that Rainbow Six is doing it. Like, Rainbow Six is a retail game. It is a paid game, but the expansions and everything they bring to the table is free. But they're keeping that game alive. They're working so hard on bringing, like, there's a new character that they just added to the game just now. Like, there's a lot of good examples out here that are doing it correctly.
I just thought of something. So with live services, I'm thinking, oh dang, it was just in my head. I was thinking of the fact that, what if, like, with a live service, I feel like these companies cannot get lazy, because if they do, people will get bored and move away, and then the game dies.
Absolutely.
So I think in that sense, games can be a good thing for the industry, keeping keeping these companies on their feet, keeping them working, obviously, keeping their ideas fresh and whatnot, because us as we get bored easy. We're gamers. We get bored easy.
In Prime, I got my information wrong. The operators are not free in Rainbow Six. You got to pay for them, but they still do a good job with updating the game. So my bad. I thought at one point they were free, or maybe there was some kind of event that happened that was free. I think it's certain events that you can participate in. Like, there was one event. No, I know, because there was one event that me and Daniel wanted to play that was free, but I don't think the operators are free. So my bad. I didn't mean to misinform you guys.
Yeah. So my thing is just they can't get lazy, because it's gonna show that, you know, if they start getting lazy, what they do as far as live services are concerned, that people are just gonna get bored with their game and move on. They're gonna get mad, they're gonna get pissy and stuff like that. And I need, if you're gonna, this is me, I need this first and foremost for almost every live service. Here's the thing that I need from a live service first and foremost, and I need these developers to be very attentive with their player base. Meaning, I need them to be in the forums with information.
Really need to be like
and talking to us. They need to communicate with us, because I cannot stand a developer who is just don't want to say nothing, just silent all the damn time, can't talk nothing, can't give at least a little bit of information. I'm not telling you to give me the full details, but when you say that we are dropping new material or new updates or something, can you give us a rundown of what that update's going to be when you drop it? Give us some footnotes or whatever they call it. What is it called? Patch notes? Yeah. Like, I'm tired of these developers, some of these online games where the patch notes are vague, or they don't put in the information we're supposed to know about what hero, what character, what this and that is going on, because that means that we have to play these different characters or whatever differently, and we don't know what is different about them because you won't tell us. Yeah. Or whatever. Like, what is different about this new hero that you just dropped into the game? What do we know about them? Explain. And then when we give you information about like bugs and glitches and, you know, things not working, and you don't respond to that, and let alone don't fix it, and it's been in the game for over a year, that stuff is going to irritate me and tell me that you don't give a shit about your game, so long as I'm handing you money, you take that money and the CEOs pocket a good chunk of
There's
it.
There's definitely some developers like that too. Like, they don't update the community on nothing.
On nothing. Like, you gotta be you gotta communicate with the community. You can't be silent, you know, silent sleeper type dude or whatever. Like, I need at least you to be communicative with your community. I need your online service to actually give me reason to want to spend money if that's where you're going. Because obviously you want to make money, so give me a reason to spend money, and it has to be free starting off, because I'm not going to pay an entry fee for any of these. Like, if they're talking about, oh, you got to spend $60 for a live service, I ain't doing it. No, I'm gonna be like, why? Why am I spending $60 to play a game that I may or may not like? Let me play the game for a little while and see if I like it. And if I do, I'll drop some money for your, your whatever they call it, pack or whatever, your starter pack. I'll drop money for that if I feel like it's worth it. But I'm not gonna spend $60 to get in your game and then another 20, 30, $40 for some kind of extra expansion season pass BS and then loot boxes, and that's just too much. Y'all asking for too much. That's too much handout, and y'all over here with like CEOs with $45 million, and you telling me you can't make video games? Yeah, because they're expensive. I wonder where that money's going. Just saying, these are things I'm gonna be looking for, and that's why I say I'm not against. Like, I'm not against live services. I'm not against them. But they gotta do it the right way. They gotta do it the right way. They can't be constantly shady about it. Yeah. So that's why everybody's eyes are twitching when it turns to EA. They just be like, huh?
And that's where we come in as consumers.
Yeah, just be mindful, be vigilant, and speak out. If you see something you don't like, speak out.
Rainbow Six is currently not free to play, but it's currently free if you want to see it and see if you like it. And it retails for $40. Not just you, just for the chat and everybody.
Just for anybody else.
And it retails for $40. I think Rainbow Six is honestly a sleeper. Well, not no more, because it's doing better than it was.
It's doing better now, but it was a sleeper, definitely.
It was definitely a sleeper. Like, when me and Daniel first started playing it, we were like, bro, this is tight. But do you want to play some Overcooked or not?
Yeah, we can play. Let me save this progress and we'll go ahead and play. You guys have questions for us?
Do you guys have questions or comments related to anything that's going on right now? It ain't gotta be just about our topics.
Yeah, it could be whatever. You can ask us
what's on your
questions
mind,
and stuff.
man? What's going on?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and answer those. Let me go save my progress real quick, because, you know, farming isn't easy.
And Prime, you and me need to hop on some Rainbow Six again at some point. Like, when I get used to my new schedule and I'm not living at the school, we gotta play. I've literally come home around like 6 o'clock, like every day this week, and then I'll be up at the school on weekends. I'm gonna be there tomorrow. I'm probably gonna be there Sunday, cause school starts on Monday, and I just want to make sure all my stuff is together so I can, you know, be prepared when my babies come. So, you know, when you got a room full of 8-year-olds, you gotta give them stuff to do. You can't just be having no plans. So I'm like, shoot, I gotta get it together, man.
All right, I'm ready. I got.
All right, I'm playing on handheld mode, so hopefully I don't suck too bad.
Oh shoot.
Man, you know, we need to play Rainbow Six Prime, and we need to play what's the Dirty Bomb. That's something we haven't played in a long time together.
Dirty Bomb?
Yo, Shokin no stop by to say what's up. What's up, Shokin?
If you have Overcooked.
Oh, who has Overcooked 2?
If anybody, I know M Prime said he had it.
M Prime, you have Overcooked 2?
You can play with us. I'll put you in the lobby with us.
Yay.
If you have it booted up, let me know. Have you? I have my friend code in the thing below.
Shokio said me and you legit look like little kids in our thumbnail.
That's what's up.
You know, black don't crack.
Hey.
We out here looking like we 15 and 16.
I know, right?
Oh shoot. M Prime says he has Overcooked 2.
You want to play with us?
I kind of want to stream this, but it looked like my OBS is having some problems, so I'm not gonna do that.
Alright, I'm gonna host friends. I don't know who I like. I don't know if I'm pretty sure I got you.
Okay. Well, just I don't know how this works.
Okay, hold on. So go to arcade. I think it says go to arcade and look for a friend.
Online private? Was it a private room?
Oh, I think I don't know. Hold on. Let me do it.
Oh, that's if we already had. Oh, search for friends. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, you search for friends. Hold on, I'm gonna do. Let me do.
I see you here, Coupon.
Okay, hold on. Let me. I'm doing hosting friends. Okay, click on. Oh yeah, hit me up. I guess.
Hold on, let me refresh the page.
Let me see if it does anything.
Alright, search friends. Chopping ingredients, preparing your kitchen. That's the loading screen. How cute! I freaking love this game already.
Oh, I wanna check. Oh, okay, you're in here.
Hold on.
Yeah, I wanna switch my I like the old lady. Wait, who was I? The mouse?
How do you switch people?
Go to where it says chef and you could.
Oh, okay, so I'm the red chef. Oh, I want the sous chef.
Alright,
no?
okay.
I'm
waiting for M Prime to. What's your thing, M Prime? Or
I think I have M Prime on my friends.
Or hit either one of us up. I'm gonna wait for him.
I actually don't think that I can because I'm not the host leader. I'm not the host.
You should be able to. He should be able to come in on you though, because I am the host.
Oh, if he has you and it says joinable, he can come in.
Yeah, if he has either one of us, he should be able to join in. Yeah.
Yeah, it should say joinable if you're friends with Coupon. I wish I could show you guys what I'm looking at. Maybe I can. Let me try.
My friend code is in the. Yeah, my friend code is in the
Me and Coupon look like little kids, but in reality, we both old enough to be your older sisters.